And hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL in the Trenches, Frontline Prediction League in the Trenches, Frontline League over on X, Frontline Prediction League right here on YouTube. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We do appreciate it. I am your co-host, Scott. Joining me, as always, is BeerMe. BeerMe, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm tired. I know it shows. Work is busy, and it's just draining. Even though I finished my shift 3 hours ago, I didn't run around the block and had made dinner and stuff. It's just like, so it's good to veg and not have to worry about a show this weekend. It's not until
Right.
next weekend or even the one after. I forget. I think it's the one after. We get a little bit of a reprieve until Night of Champions, which is Saturday, June 28th, as you can see there, 1 p.m. Eastern. Keep that in mind. It is a main show, but it's a Saudi show, so we understand that. But we got matches to announce for that. And that's it. There was no show this weekend with results. So this might be like 10 minutes, spare me. It's been a long time since we've had one that quick.
Yeah.
Kind of wild. Let's dive in. Let's see how fast this goes. Not that we're going to rush it, but that's all we got to talk about. So let's see here. We got the World Championship. Daisy Knoll defending against my girl Red. Again, we'll talk about our full final picks on these next week when the craziness starts, but it is kind of funny that we've done two all-women world title matches in Saudi thus far. Like,
hmm
I think the first ever one we did where it was all women was in Saudi. I even put that in part of the write-up, so it's kind of funny. Here we are again. It was Daisy and Halcyon for that one, so that's funny. Even though, like, not all the people are, but the characters. It's just, we run with it. Um,
hmm
I'm defending my rematch versus Eddie Wood, Canadian title, me versus him. We'll talk more about that one next time as well. And the American Championship, GMSG versus Jackson Myrtle. Stipulation to be announced. We may have that here. We'll find out. We got matches for a lot of shows, but we'll come back to that. The tag titles, Reaction versus Diamond Syndicate. That's round one of the tag tournament. We did draw that last week, so you want to see that bracket, you can check it there. But here are the matches. Reaction versus Diamond Syndicate, round one. The titles are defended in every round, so if Diamond Syndicate wins, they're the champs going into round two. The other matches are Hell's Kitchen versus the Kings of the Ring, The Light of the Cult versus Monster Mash, and Call of the Mountains versus the Round Table. Now, we did talk about those at length last time, and we'll do our final picks next week, but very interesting brackets, and again, the tag titles are on the line all the way through, so they'll either be retained by the Reaction if they run the table, or it'll change hands multiple times, maybe even every round. And for those thinking, like, oh, that's crazy, it could happen, we've never actually seen that, where it did change hands every round. And this goes back to like the JRPL tournaments that did that. Like we've never had a title change hands every match of a tournament, as far as I can recall. So it could happen, could be a first, but odds are no. That's likely not it. Oh, my dog is saying hi. Hello, Miley. Good girl, sweetie. We've got the European title also being defended. Atlas Kiyama versus the Arbiter, and then BeerMe, you're facing Monkey Bong, and we got some kickoff matches. Jonathan Monroe versus Will Colt. The Gaff versus Supreme Rock in a hardcore match in their Best of Series match 1, and Camp Applestone versus Hiroshi Moses. Let's add some matches tonight of Champions. BeerMe, how do you say?
Let's do it.
I have two matches and the stipulation for GMSG and Jackson Myrtle. So I'll start with that. That will be a death match by taxes match.
hmm
So you know the phrase death by taxes? Or is death,
hmm
death with taxes? Death by taxes sounds better. A death match by taxes. So there we go. So it's a death match. There's got to be some Saudi blood money jokes in that in the write-up, I presume. So we'll see what happens there. But GMSG versus Jackson Myrtle in a death match. Death match by taxes. I've also got, I'll just list these two on the kickoff real quick, then you'll do yours, bear me. I got James Blake versus JJ Rocky. I don't bet against Blake. Sorry, JJ. Frontliner through and through, but yeah. And Matt Zion versus Mark Steele. I don't bet against Matt. So there you go. Who you got? Blake or
All right.
Rocky?
Blake.
And then Matt or Mark?
Mark.
Okay. What have you got for Night of Champions?
Okay, I have three matches. I believe they're all kickoff, or there might be two. Well, no, two are kickoff, and I guess one's main. I don't know. They might all be main, or they all might be kickoff. My bad. But
Okay.
okay, so I have Wookie taking on Pacino.
I'm leaning Pacino on that one.
Yeah, a little bit. I have Aiden Mack taking on Payne.
Ooh, that's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Aiden Mack on that.
I think so too. And then I got CM Carlito taking on Kevin Dynamite.
I'll go with Kevin over the veteran.
Yeah, I think we're kind of in agreement. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything for the Great American Bash?
I have 2.
Well, let's go to that one. It is July 12th. Same day as All In. I think same time, even 2 or slightly earlier. So this is the order they happen in. Great American Bash is Saturday, July 12th. I think it's Saturday. We'll find out shortly. Yeah, because Evolution's the 13th, so it must be Sunday. So we've got the European Grand Prix Championship. The winner of the match we just talked about will face Broken Nerd. The Global Triad titles, Health Code Violation versus the 3-Way. Best of 5 Series 2 with Gafford Supreme Rock will be a Watson Rules match. And then we've got that Boot Camp Hardcore match with Gold Rush, all caps, like New Japan. Thank you, CT. I love that. Jonathan C.T. Martin, Luke Gray, and El Hijo del Caballo Dorado. I'll say that properly. El Hijo del Caballo Dorado. As you can see there, it's not Will Colt whatsoever. Versus Chilltown, Relantando, Neros Ramoses, and Jonathan Monroe. And we've not talked about that one, BeerMe. What do you think on that one? Who's your pick? Got to go with the Masked Man, right?
Yeah, Gold Rush.
Exactly, the new guys, Gold Rush. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we do have, I think, a kickoff match here. No, we don't. Okay, so let's just roll back up here. You've got 2 to announce. Let's do yours first this time.
All right, I have Mark Steele taking on Jackson Myrtle.
Jackson could be the American champion by this point. I think he's winning even if he isn't the champ. I think he's winning.
Man. I hate betting against that guy, but
yeah.
I'm
I don't bet against Mark either, but
I'm gonna go with Mark Steele. I think he's gonna.
This is his rebound, right? After not.
Yeah.
No, but Mark. Oh, no, you go on Mark Steele, right? I thought you said Jackson. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Mark.
Jackson's winning the title. No, I got you. Okay. What's your other one?
I have the FPL European Grand Prix Championship #1 contenders match.
Okay, so Broken Nerd or let me scroll. Broken Nerd, Atlas, or Arbiter will defend against the winner of
Aiden Mack versus Matt Zion.
Ooh, I don't bet against Matt. Matt Zion's gonna be European champion. Sorry, Aiden Mack. It's probably you. Let's be honest. Broken Nerd versus Aiden Mack. That sounds awesome.
Kind of want that match. I'm gonna go with Aiden Mack.
Atlas versus oh my god, the European division is great right now. But
it is.
You're picking Aiden though, right? Of those.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. No, I pick Matt. Let's see what I've got to announce here. I've got one match, BeerMe. It is Daisy Knoll, who may or may not be world champion, versus Kevin Dynamite. I'm leaning toward Daisy on that. Just even if it's a world title rebound, I'm kind of leaning that way.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Kevin Dynamite gets it done.
Okay. Now let's scroll through because All In is that same day. I don't have any matches for that one, but I believe you do have one, right, BeerMe? Oh, I totally forgot.
Yep.
There's our Great American Bash graphic with El Hijo de Caballo Dorado. And then we have All In. Let's go to that one. Who you got?
Okay, so I have the FPL American Championship match. I don't have the stip, but I have the match.
Okay, that is one of our title. We have, I think, 4 title matches. Yes, let me just say here quick. The world title will be defended. The Canadian will be defended against Rab. Myself or Eddie will defend there. The American title will be defended. Stipulation to be determined against GMSG or Jackson versus who you got?
Aiden Mack.
Oh, so he could be a double champ in a matter of 2 days, or same day even.
Possible.
Oh no, sorry, he'd become number 1 contender for the European, and then win the American, and then go to Slammiversary, I think, a week later. God, that's awesome. Okay. I know you're biased with GMSG, and I don't bet against them either, so yeah. But that's interesting. Any other matches for All In?
Nope.
All right, we're going to scroll down. Ooh. By the way, the Best of 5 Series 3 Iron Man match with Gaffer and Supreme Rock. And then we've got Evolution as a very basic graphic for that one here, but we have one. Haha, there it is. Evolution will be coming to you the 13th of July. It is a Sunday. We have nothing announced, and I'm going to announce one of those matches. So let me get our cool graphic on there better. I will announce a match with guys, because we only have like 3 or 4 female characters, so it's not a thing that we do. But we cover it as a main show, and here we go. Cam Popplestone, former world champion, versus Will Colt. So this is a big one to see the world title contendership future. Not that it's the number one contender. I'm not saying that. But with these two guys so heavily involved in that world title picture so recently, I mean, one beating the other definitely goes a ways towards like the summer and the fall, right? Because if it was number one contender, we'd be saying it. I'll say that right now. Like the SummerSlam contender is a whole separate thing, but September, maybe like that's it. Could a strong win like that could go a long way. It might also be a steep fall. So we'll see. We'll see. Who you got though off your gut right now, Cam or Will?
Cam.
Kind of leaning that way too.
I kind of want to pick Will. I'm going to pick Cam.
Right now, Cam, but Will Colt. A lot could change between now and then. That's the thing too. Like there's literally 3 shows before this one, in less than a month. God, that's terrifying. So we'll see what happens on that, and that's all I got. Just the one, and that's it. And we're at the 10-minute mark, and we're done trenches. So how you doing? You good? Otherwise, we can get out of here.
Yeah, good to go.
We're good to go. We're going to keep this one nice and quick, guys. Do check out the Frontline Prediction League Discord. It is available down the link below. I keep saying that. I don't know if it actually is, but it is easy to find. Frontline Prediction League is the Discord. Frontline League over on X, and also through Top of the Card Pod on X, Top of the Card Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. We did not record an episode last night, but the one from 2 weeks ago went up. It is so out of date. We talked about R-Truth being released, and he was technically only released for like 4 days. So it's out of date, but fun to listen to. I can guarantee you that. And then we'll have more next week when we do the next recording. So check that out, and all those go into the same Discord. It is Impact Night right now. You can go in there and look at the stuff live. There's discussion over the New Japan stuff lately. There's the character chat going on, which is busier than ever. It's awesome. We love it. So appreciate that, guys. Everybody, check it out. And yeah, we'll leave it at that, BeerMe. We'll do this again next week with our final rundowns for the actual show that's happening, and then the Summer of Crazy, because there's 4 shows in 4 weeks, and it's Slammiversary. Help! It's gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be fun. We appreciate you guys being along for that. So yeah, do check that stuff out. We appreciate it. And yeah, thanks again, everybody. Have a good night.